Okay guys, it is time for a recommendations video. Today I'm going to be sharing with you guys some classics that I love. So this is kind of like a classics recommendation round 2. Hello everyone, it is Samantha and I hope you guys are having a fantastic day. Today's video is all about classic books. I decided to do a second round of classic recommendations because I've read some new classics the past year and a half that I've really enjoyed that I think a lot of other people would too. So let's see what those books are. The first one I want to talk about is The Three Musketeers by Alexandre Dumas. I absolutely love this story. I think a lot of us are very familiar with the story. It follows our three musketeers, Athos, Porthos, and Aramis, as well as their young friend D'Artagnan, and all of her swashbuckling fun. The three, of course, are the Musketeers, and their young friend D'Artagnan is an aspiring musketeer, but not quite a musketeer yet. And it basically follows all of their adventures and their misadventures as you go along in the story. It's full of a lot of humor and a lot of swashbuckling fun, and just some very exciting battle moments, and it was just a lot of fun to read. I wasn't really sure what to expect. I mean, I've seen some of the movies, and it definitely fulfilled all of my hopes. It's just a fun, classic swashbuckling novel, and it is one that I really recommend if you're looking kind of for a fun and humorous classic. The next one I want to recommend is The Tenant, Wildfell by Anne Bronte. This story is all about a young woman, Helen, who takes up and rents a house near this village, and it's very scandalous because not only is she a single mother, only living with her nursemaid, but she's also trying to earn her own living. And a lot of mystery surrounds this character that our young Gilbert, one of the main protagonists of the story, along with Helen, kind of tries to find out what's going on with her because he kind of fancies her a little bit, and he uncovers a lot more than he first thought he would. This is a masterpiece of fiction. It deals with a lot of themes that transcend time, including emotional abuse, alcoholism, gender roles, the role of women in society, the way in which you should raise your children. It deals with like a lot of things in a very brilliant way. It's told in third-person narration as well as through letter form, as well as through journal form, and she melds these three storytelling styles in a very beautiful way. It is wonderfully written. It is truly a masterpiece of fiction. This book has made her my new favorite Bronte sister and one of my new favorite classic books, including surpassing Jane Eyre. The next recommendation I have for this video is what I consider to be Charles Dickens' masterpiece, and that is Bleak House. This story is amazing. It basically follows the court case of John Dice and all of the people that are involved in this case, including Charles Dickens' only female narrator, and that is Esther. So it kind of follows her perspective as she's kind of dealt becoming the companion to the young Ada Clare, kind of taken in by the benevolent John Dice. He's kind of taken her Ada and her cousin Richard in because they've kind of been left in unfortunate circumstances, and Esther has been brought along to be a companion to her, and a lot more kind of happens. There's a lot of different plot lines, and they're all interwoven in a beautifully and masterful way. Plus, this novel has spontaneous combustion, so how can you not like it? That alone, the fact that Dickens put that in here is just brilliant. The story, though, is amazing, and the way that all the different plot lines weave together, and all of these people that have been affected by this court case, this estate case that has gone on for years, because basically Dickens trying to highlight how the court system is not at all helpful, and it is corrupt, and etc. It is just amazing. It is an amazing story, and I highly recommend it. I wasn't sure what to expect from it, and I was pleasantly surprised. This has become my second favorite Dickens novel. I don't know, it might be my first. Kind of Great Expectations and Bleak House and A Christmas Carol. They're all kind of hovering around my favorite Dickens stories, but this one I love just because it is such a masterpiece of fiction and one that I highly recommend. The last classic I have to recommend is J.R.R. Tolkien's The Fall of Arthur. J.R.R. Tolkien he started basically his retelling of the Arthurian legends, and he never quite finished it. But this book has the poem in its form that it was left in when he passed, as well as his son's analysis of the poem in comparison with the other Arthurian legends that we are familiar with, because, you know, they've been retold many times. So it was definitely a very interesting piece of fiction. I like seeing the different perspective, comparing and contrasting Tolkien's Arthurian stories with the original legends, because I love Arthurian legends. So it was definitely a very interesting take, and especially how he wrote it in such a way that it was very classical and very reminiscent of writings from the medieval time period. I mean, he was a professor of Old English, so I guess that goes to show you that he knew his stuff. But I really, really enjoyed this book, and I think it is a pretty quick read. It's not very long, and one that I think a lot of people will enjoy if you love the history and stories of King Arthur. Alright guys, that is my little classic recommendation video for you guys, some of my favorite classics. I think that these Also kind of highlights various reading levels, so if you're new to classics, I would say that you could start out with Tenant, Wildfell Hall by Bronte. It's a very accessible read, very easy classical read that deals with a lot of important topics. I then kind of puts The Fall of Arthur as kind of a middle level read because the way in which she writes it is a little bit hard to process at first. You kind of have to take your time with it, but it's definitely a very enjoyable one. And then I would definitely put The Three Musketeers as the next step down from that. The writing can be a little bit clunky at times, a little bit hard to get into, but the story itself is very enjoyable. And I would put Bleak House as kind of a more advanced read just because it's Dickens and he can be a little bit verbose and deal with some very heavy topics in a very roundabout way. So it's a very enjoyable read, but definitely stick with it, and it's just definitely a masterpiece. Alright guys, that is it for my Classics Recommendation Volume 2 video. You have to let me know if you've read these and what your thoughts are, if you have any to recommend to me. Thank you guys so much for watching and have a great one. Until next time, happy reading. Bye! I am really warm, people. Also, I'm really sorry because you're going to be seeing this outfit in some videos because I'm bulk filming today. Yay! If you guys want to see more videos, remember that I upload every Monday and Thursday, and be sure to subscribe so you'll be notified when I upload.